Hi, I'm Paul Harrington. I'm a musician, I'm a singer, I'm a Eurovision winner, thank God, and I'm still a working musician. And music has been a huge part of my life. Has music changed my life? Yes, it has. Music has changed my life. I would say my family, I come from a really musical family, and I'm not going to go for the old joke. Even the sewing machine is a singer. Sorry, I did. I couldn't resist it. No, I'm the youngest of a family of six, and all the older brothers sang, and they were, they played in the ballad boom in the '60s. So there was always parties in our house, and always musical parties, and guitars were always out at the weekend. One of my, I suppose, earliest musical memories would be my mother introducing me to a fellow called Al Jolson, which I'm sure you may or may not have heard of, but he had a really, really unusual style of singing. And what I do remember was, I remember my mother she was an interesting woman, and but she often got, kind of got things wrong. For example, when myself and my sister, she'd gone out and bought these records, and I think one was an Al Jolson record, and the other one was Puppet on a String, which was, interestingly enough, a Eurovision thing. And so as a surprise, she was playing it for us, and she said she kind of made us face the wall, and she was going to surprise us with this record because it was probably popular at the time. And she put the needle on, and it started playing, and of course it sounded like this old man singing. I didn't know what was happening, And no, she didn't put on the Al Jolson record. What had happened was, here's something you may or may not remember as well. We had record players that went at different speeds. So she put it on the really, really slow speed. So the impact was lost somewhat, but that would be one of my very early musical memories too. Music makes me feel wonderful. Music is just a part of my life. I've often thought about how music has influenced me or changed my life. I never saw something as music as an outside influence. I always saw it as just a part of who I am, because I'm absolutely steeped and lucky that I play a musical instrument. But as what people call by ear. I've never been formally trained, and that surprises me every day. When I sit at a piano, and sometimes I forget, and somebody says, "Did you just pick that out of your ear, from your ear, or out of the air?" And I say, "Well, yeah, kind of." And I suppose every now and again I have to pinch myself and be really, really grateful for having this, because it has done just incredible things for me, and it's something I can't imagine not being in my life. It's just everywhere I go. I wind up, singing or playing or and it's funny. It's a great way of meeting people. It's a great way of connecting with people. It's and if you want to, if you ever want to travel and you can play a musical instrument, it's a great kind of it's a great introduction to a whole new world and a new culture. Because music is that lovely meeting point. Even if you're not getting on with somebody and you sing them a nice song, you might just get them on your side. Proudest. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, when you frame it as proudest, I suppose Eurovision would be a very obvious one, winning the Eurovision Song Contest in 1994. There have been many. There's a very unusual thing happens when you make a record or make your first record. The whole process of recording and finishing it and mixing it, and that whole experience of working with different musicians. But then there's this whole new experience that you don't expect, is when you hear it played on the radio for the first time. That's immense. And that is, without exception, I don't think I've ever heard any, there's always musicians all over the world and singers, huge famous people, they'll always kind of talk about the first time they heard one of their songs on the radio. It's an incredible experience. I would have to obviously say Eurovision in '94 was an enormous time. It was very, very big to take in. I was hugely proud as well to be able to do it as the youngest of a musical family, and it was kind of a bit like the musical baton kept getting passed down, and it finally landed at my feet or hands. And you know, I suppose winning something like that is a real mark of delivering, you know. But the truth about music is, for me, it's the longevity, to be able to keep playing music and keep entertaining people as well, you know. I mean, often very proud moments as well, when you feel you've connected with people and you've touched them in some way. You know, yes, it obviously has. I mean, I have to say, I'm not sure what I would have done in the world, you know, if I didn't have my, you know, the musical gift to be able to play piano and sing the way I do. I really don't know what I'd do. I think I'd be quite lost, you know. I mean, and I think it's almost, I almost feel like I was given that gift because it's like as if God said, look, I don't think you're going to make it, you're not going to do too well in this world, so I'm going to give you a little extra bonus here to help you along. Because, you know, accountant, no. Policeman, no. Maybe, but you know, I mean, what would I do? I'm not sure. But or maybe music being part of my life always just made that decision for me. But I remember even when I was in school, you know, coming up to leaving cert, and you know, a career guidance teacher kind of asking me what am I going to do, and you know, what are you going to do, Harrington? What are you going to do with your life? You know, and it was kind of, I suppose I wasn't playing music professionally until I was quite late. It came to me quite late when I was kind of around my mid-20s, late 20s maybe, when I started doing it professionally. And but I always just felt that I was going to fall back on this, you know. And I kind of said, I'm going to sing and play the piano. And of course, naturally, they laugh. But so, and that's what I do, you know. I mean, it's I may not be the best at what I do, but it's what I do best.